Good afternoon. My name is Matthew Morgan, and I'm Council's Chief Executive Officer. I extend a warm welcome to the gallery here in the Council chambers at the Cobram Civic Centre and those joining us via live stream for this afternoon's scheduled meeting of Council. Consistent with section 13.3 of our governance rules, Council officers have been authorised to record the public session of this meeting using appropriate recording devices. I now turn to the Chair for the prayer.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. Can I please ask everybody to rise whilst I read the prayer and acknowledgement of traditional owners? Almighty God, we humbly ask you to guide our deliberations for the welfare and benefit of the Moira Shire and its people whom we serve. Moira Shire Council acknowledges the Yorta Yorta Nation as the traditional owners of this land. We recognise the deep spiritual connection to land, waterways and community of the 8 clans of the Yorta Yorta Nation. We pay our respects to elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. Please be seated. So a very warm welcome to this evening's scheduled council meeting of Moira Shire Council. A very warm welcome to those who have joined us in the gallery tonight, and of course a welcome to those who are joining us online as well. Do we have any apologies or leave of absence requests for tonight?
No, Chair.
Okay, are there any matters of conflicts of interest to be disclosed relating to matters on the agenda? If not, we'll take it there are no declarations of interest. We are indeed delighted tonight to welcome and to acknowledge some recent citizens of Moira Shire Council who have been acknowledged as part of the King's Birthday Honours process. We had 5 recipients in the most recent round of King's Birthday acknowledgements, and we're delighted that we have 2 of those recipients with us tonight, and we look forward to presenting them with a certificate on behalf of the Moira Shire Council and its residents to again acknowledge the significant achievement and acknowledgement of their Order of Australia medal. Before I introduce the 2 members who have been able to join us tonight, I'd like to acknowledge Anna Crichton. So Anna was awarded an OAM in the June King's Birthday Honours round. And Anna, unfortunately, is not able to be with us tonight, but I would like to read the citation, which was the basis of Anna's OAM award. From serving on the board of the Country Women's Association of Victoria at the Cobram branch to helping establish the Cobram Red Cross Opportunity Shop, there's not much Anna hasn't found time to do. Some of Anna's proudest moments have come during her involvement with the Cobram Uniting Church Ladies Guild, of which she served as president and treasurer, and where she recently helped raise funds for the Rural Flying Doctors Service Victoria. Anna also served for about 60 years as treasurer of the Cobram Red Cross Society. Now, Anna enjoys keeping her mind sharp and body fit by spending her time solving crosswords, gardening and volunteering with the Ladies Guild at events. And we, on behalf of the Moira Shire and its residents, we extend a very sincere congratulation to Anna for her acknowledgement with the award of an Order of Australia medal. We also extend congratulations to Auntie Dr. Geraldine Atkinson, AO. Dr. Geraldine Atkinson is a proud Bangarang and Wiradjuri woman and is co-chair of the National Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Education Council. Geraldine held the position of co-chair of the First Peoples Assembly of Victoria until July 2023 and was elected to the Assembly in November 2019 as a candidate from the North East region. For over 40 years, Geraldine has been instrumental in driving government and policy reform in Aboriginal education. From starting in the field as an Aboriginal teacher's aide in 1976, Geraldine moved forward to become the president of the Victorian Aboriginal Education Association Incorporated, a role she has held since 1999. In that role, she represents the organisation on Koori education matters across all education sectors, whether it's early childhood, school education and post-compulsory education and training. And again, we extend a very warm congratulations to Dr. Geraldine Atkinson for the award of a Order of Australia. We also congratulate posthumously the late Joan Gordon, OAM. The late Joan Gordon was passionate about her community in Cobram and Yarrawea. From 1968 to 2024, Joan was a committee member of the Cobram Agricultural Society. Joan was made a life member of the society in 1998. Joan was also a volunteer at the Cobram Tourist Information Centre for over 25 years and volunteer with the Yarrawea Hall Committee, the Cobram Primary School Mothers Club, the Cobram Secondary College Mothers Club, the Yarrawea Friends Group and the Coonamoo Recreation Reserve. Joan was a life member, former president and long-serving member of the Cobram Spinners and Weavers. And again, we congratulate the late Joan Gordon on being recognised with her Order of Australia medal. It's now my great pleasure to invite to come forward Peter Sutton, OAM. Peter, would you like to come forward and join Administrator Benedica and myself? Sorry. Wait there just one moment, Peter. We do need to suspend standing orders. Thank you for that prompt. I'd like to move that standing orders be suspended for the acknowledgement of the Order of Australia medal recipients certificates. Is there a seconder for that motion? I'd like to second. Those in favour of the motion? The motion is carried. I'm just going to, perhaps you move into the middle, Peter. Yep. So we are delighted tonight to welcome Peter Sutton, OAM. Peter is a former Moira Shire resident and is known for being the key driver for the installation of war memorials like that we enjoyed recently unveiling at the Yarrawea Memorial Hall. Over the years, Peter, who grew up in Yarrawea and attended Cobram Secondary College, has worked with organisations such as the Australian Council of Social Services, the Anti-Poverty Network, the Council of the Ageing, and the Brotherhood of St. Lawrence. Currently, Peter sits on a national reference group of people with lived experience with the welfare system. Almost 20 years after an unfortunate accident, Peter now spends the best part of his time tackling societal stigma and advocating for people who rely on welfare to get by each day. Peter, we are delighted on behalf of Moira Shire Council and the broader Moira community to acknowledge your OAM and to present you with this certificate, which is a certificate of acknowledgement on behalf of the council. We hope you will display this proudly. So congratulations to you. Yeah, Susan. Thank you very much. And we'll just grab a photo this way for Ben Bennett. We'll give you that. Right. Thank you, Peter. Did you want to say anything or not?
Oh, no, just I grew up in the area and I owe a lot to the communities in which I grew up. So I took part in debating at Cobram High School, got involved with the Rotary Club there. I attribute some of my success in later life to Rotary and the high school through debating. So I did debating. We were at one stage state champions. So that was good for Cobram High School. Secondary college is now. I went to the Eileen Taylor Kindergarten and actually knew Eileen Taylor. So a lovely woman. So I'm really, really pleased that I've been able to make something positive here in the Shire in which I grew up. So,
fantastic. Well done, Peter. Congratulations to you. And I'd now love to bring forward Les Harrison, OAM. Come forward, Les. present this to him. That's just what we. Fantastic, Les. Just move in so we're on camera. Very good. So we are delighted to have Les join us here tonight, and he has a very impressive citation which I will read. So Les has received his fair share of honours over his time, but was over the moon to receive the Order of Australia Medal for his services to the communities of Tungamah and Cobram. To mention just a few of the community initiatives Les has involved himself in, and I'll say immersed himself, if not led. He was principal of the Tungamah Primary School from 1991 to 2005. He was a part-time teacher at the Cobram Special Development School, which we now know as the Cobram and District Specialist School. He was a foundation member of the Tungamah Leo Club as well. His time as the Governor of Lyons District 201V6 during 2008-9 is one of Les's most proudest achievements. Outside his work as an educator and a leader of young people, Les has racked up an impressive career in country sport, having served as president of the Tungamah Cricket Club and coach and trainer at the Tungamah Football Club for some 20 years. Les is the heart and soul of Tungamah, and Les, we are delighted that your contribution, not only to Tungamah, but the broader Moira region, has been acknowledged through the award of an Order of Australia Medal, which has absolutely been duly reserved. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just talk up a little bit if you, Les, so if you can, Les.
Yeah. Look, I'm over the moon as far as receiving this. It's something I never ever thought that I would ever receive. To me, this award is for important people, not for people such as myself who just to go out and try to make a difference in the communities we were in. Ever since I was at Teachers College, our principal at the time said, well, participation and cooperation, wherever you teach, you must leave that community a better place for you having been there. And I've always tried to live up to that. And I love Tungamah. I loved my time here at Cobram at the specialist school. I went there for one term. It was a job that lasted 8 3/4 years. And I'm still involved there with their Leo Club. I think we live in a very good region. We do have a very good shire behind us. We do love to whinge about you all at some stages, but we get very, very good support. And at the moment, with so much going on with Tungamah and our Leo Club, the shire have been very, very supportive. So I thank you all for that. And I must say that I thank you all for taking the time out tonight to make this presentation. Thank you very much.
Good on you, Les. Well done. Well done. Just, we'll get a photo here.
Yep, we better get a photo.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the best
Well done,
part.
Les.
Thank you very
Congratulations.
much. Thank you, everybody. I have to go. I've got another meeting to go to.
Congratulations again to our 5 recipients who have been acknowledged through the recent King's Birthday Honours Awards. Would you like to move that we resume standing orders?
I would like to move that we resume standing orders.
And I'm happy to second that. Those in favour of that motion, the motion is carried. Can we now move to item 6 on tonight's agenda, which is confirmation of minutes of the previous meeting of council held on Monday, 30 June. Is there a mover for this item?
Yes, I'd like to move that the minutes of the scheduled council meeting held on Monday, the 30th of June, 2025, as presented, be adopted.
And I'm happy to second that motion. Those in favour of the motion is carried. We'll now move to item 7 on tonight's agenda, and that is the administrator addresses. It was a great pleasure for council to partner with Regional Development Victoria and RMIT in presenting an AI in Manufacturing Forum on the 3rd of July at Rico Pack's manufacturing facility here in Cobram. This forum was a great opportunity to learn from leading RMIT experts about the endless possibilities available to advance manufacturing by embracing AI in research, production and logistics. The forum also included a presentation by locally based JBS Meats, who provided practical examples of how their business is embracing AI in their operations. I would like to extend a big thank you to Council's Economic Development team for facilitating this really important forum. Administrator Benedica and I had the pleasure of meeting with members of the Pecola community at the Pecola Hall on the 8th of July. This again was a wonderful opportunity to learn more about what is important to the local community, and I really do want to thank the Pecola residents who joined us on that day. As part of our ongoing program to keep local members of Parliament abreast of issues of importance to Moira, the panel of administrators enjoyed the opportunity to meet with the Honourable Wendy Lovell, member for Northern Victoria, yesterday. This meeting was an opportunity to provide an update on some of Council's major projects, Council's long-term planning and some current advocacy issues of importance to the Moira Shire. Lastly, I had the pleasure of representing Council at the Many Mobs Bridge Walk in Yarrawonga today. A key event as part of NAIDOC Week, the annual Bridge Walk is an opportunity to reflect on the importance of continuing to advance reconciliation with Indigenous Australians at the local level. I'd like to thank Many Mobs for again presenting the Bridge Walk event and continuing to advance reconciliation with our traditional custodians at our local level. Administrator Benedica, can I now invite you to provide your update?
Thank you, Chair Administrator. As always, this month has had numerous highlights covering community connection, understanding our industries and working on the business of Council. Community connections. National NAIDOC celebrations are now at a milestone of 50 years of honouring and elevating Indigenous voices and culture. And this year the theme is the next generation, strength, vision and legacy. Locally, there have been several events we've engaged with as Council. Chair Administrator has already referred to the Many Mobs Bridge Walk. Tomorrow, I will also represent Council on the Yanda Bridge Walk across the Yarrawonga-Mulwala Bridge. As administrators, we've been privileged to attend a wonderful event, Danya Day, held at the Danya Centre in the Barmah Forest. Danya Day, July the 9th, is a day of community celebration through strength, culture and connection of the Eora Nation. There was a really buzzing crowd enjoying market stalls, local artists and makers, food vendors, musicians, dancers, children's activities and community celebration. It's very fitting that at our last Council meeting, we adopted the new Welcome to Country wording that was respectfully developed with Yorta. We also continue to hold meaningful community catch-ups across the Shire, and Chair Administrator Edmondson has mentioned Pecola. This week we held a valuable session in Numurkah. I value these sessions so much and want to also extend my thanks to the residents of Numurkah who are with us for their community insights, for helping us understand challenges, issues and opportunities by location, and for ensuring that community voice helps guide our decision making. I also enjoyed presenting to Rotary in Cobram and answering questions on the role of administrator as well as the future strategic direction for Council. I'm very open to continuing these opportunities to address any community groups or clubs that host a guest speaker. I enjoy getting to know you all better, understanding the drivers and passion and considerable work you do in community. Please contact Council if there's an opportunity to meet with you or if you'd like us to understand better what you do in our community. On to industry connections. The Moira Shire Council has a considerable role in economic development. As part of this role, we try and develop a deeper understanding and connection with existing industries and keep a keen eye on the potential for future growth. This month, we continued our program of visiting significant local industries, visiting Legacy Packaging and JBS. Both businesses are very considerable employers with diverse export market. adding real value to local and regional produce. Thank you to the management of both these impressive industries for your openness and willingness to engage early on for your ideas in sustainability and for the future. Youth Council. Our continuing engagement with Youth Council is valuable. This month, we accompanied the Youth Council for part of their tour of the Shire. We met with them to walk through the advancing development of the Yarrawonga Library and held a good lunchtime discussion at Burrameen Homestead about a range of matters. We were both very pleased to hear their insights after conducting consultations with young people to understand the implications of the closure of Bega Strathmerton. Thanks again to the Youth Council.
Thank you, Administrator Benedika. Can we now move to item 8 on tonight's agenda, and that is reports from the Executive. The first, Mr. Matthew Morgan, CEO.
Thank you, Chair. Our team continues to work closely with Regional Development Victoria in the wake of the Bega Strathmerton closure announcement earlier this year, which includes meeting with major local employers to understand plans for the future, including any opportunities for expansion, the likelihood of job creation, and any support that they would require to facilitate that from Council and from the Victorian Government. As Administrator Benedika mentioned, our discovery journey of local businesses continues. And this month, as well as Legacy Packing, I also had the opportunity to visit Pulla Cold Store, Padman Stops, and Rex James Stock Feeds to understand their businesses and future plans. I must say that there is a lot of energy within our business sector, and there are a lot of good news stories, particularly with intergenerational family business successes. On the back of the 30 June Council meeting and the adoption of the key strategic framework documents, including the Council Plan, the Financial Plan, the Budget, the Revenue and Rating Plan, and the Asset Plan, we've had a series of internal meetings, some including all staff and the extended leadership groups, to discuss what the year ahead looks like and how all of our team members will be contributing to the delivery of the Council Plan objectives. In the past month, we've also seen some employee development milestones, and I would particularly like to acknowledge the graduates of various programs offered through Local Government Professionals Victoria, particularly Venkata and Stacey, who graduated from the LG Ignite course, Holly and Thomas, who graduated from the Mastering Management course, and Scott Williams, who's with us this evening, who graduates this week from the Executive Leaders Program. The participation in these programs highlights both the commitment of our team members and Council to investing in our people. We also had a constructive meeting with the ASU branch secretary and the regional organiser to discuss workplace matters, including the opportunity to highlight the substantial positive improvements that have been made at Moira in the past 18 months, which is supported by objective data. We look forward to working constructively with the ASU as we continue to build a stronger, engaged and more resilient workforce. I would also like to acknowledge that the team has been working closely with Rural Councils Victoria on the final touches for the Rural Councils Victoria annual conference, which will be hosted in Yarrawonga at the end of this month. This event will see mayors and CEOs from around the state gather in Yarrawonga to hear from a range of speakers, as well as discuss matters of key importance to rural council. It's a great opportunity to showcase Moira and our region. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. Can we now move to the Director of Infrastructure, Ms. Rachel Gadd?
Thank you, Chair Administrator Emonson. Firstly, I would like to welcome to the team our new Manager of Operations, Troy Metzner, who started with us last week. Troy has a background in the management of outdoor roads and parks teams in local government and is a welcome addition to the infrastructure team. In the project area, the Cobram Dog Park is nearing completion and will officially open in August. This is the Shire's first formal dog park site, an exciting project for Cobram. The Numurkah levee construction is progressing with 866 metres of the earthen sections now constructed. And as part of the next stage, over 100 roses from the Lois Hammond and GF Harding Gardens were distributed to the community last Friday in anticipation of the levee and the Melville Street crossing works commencing in the area where the rose gardens are in about 2 weeks' time. We attended a meeting with stakeholders from the Yarrawonga Aerodrome, which was a great opportunity to hear stakeholder feedback and share information about upcoming projects, including the taxiway widening and the resealing of the runway. We also discussed the development of the Aerodrome Master Plan, which will be coming to Council for endorsement to proceed to community engagement in the next couple of months. I'd like to thank all the stakeholders for making the time to attend that meeting. I think it was quite successful and look forward to having more of those in the future. The Yarrawonga Library is progressing well with internal framing underway, and the steel arches that will frame the front windows are almost ready to install, which is a really exciting part of the project. And in other good news, the ground level of the Yarrawonga Town Hall has been approved to host events for up to 150 people. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Ms Gadd. Can we now move to the Director of Sustainable Communities, Mr Brian Sword?
Thank you, Chair Administrator Emerson. There's three matters I'd like to update Council and the community on tonight. That's firstly our curbside collection and the results for June. We continue to receive positive results following the frequency changes made to the curbside collection in February. During June, when comparing 2024 to 2025, curbside landfill diversion increased by 9.1%. Landfill tonnage was down 22% and organic tonnage was up 35%. Since collection began in December 2024, a total of 228 tonnes of glass has been collected. 2023 average contamination rate for our FOGO organics was 0.66%. 2024 to 2025 increased to 0.68%. So an overall increase of 0.02%. This is a great result given the curbside collection changes made in February, and a big thank you to the community for their efforts. And one further point is that a total of 6,619 new Waste app downloads occurred over the past financial year, 24-25. The prior 6 years had a combined total of 2,788, shows a significant level of increase in engagement in our curbside collection service with the community. Now, the second matter is the Bundalong Structure Plan. Council is in the progress of developing a structure plan for Bundalong. The structure plan will guide how Bundalong will develop in coming years. As part of the process of developing the plan, we have been talking to people who live, holiday, run businesses or spend time in Bundalong. An online survey ran from the 1st of June to 1st of July and received 91 responses. 2 face-to-face sessions were held in Bundalong in June and 40 people attended those sessions, and a further 12 community members joined us online in June. The responses to these questions will help in developing the vision, objectives and priorities of the structure plan, and further community consultation on the development of the Bundalong structure plan is anticipated towards the end of this year. And the final matter, Administrator Chair, is the Domestic Animal Management Plan. Moira is required to adopt a new Domestic Animal Management Plan by November 2025 as per the requirements of the Domestic Animals Act. Early engagement on the review of the plan in April 2025 received 141 responses, and it's anticipated that a draft Domestic Animal Management Plan will be presented to the August ordinary meeting of Council with those early consultation results for further public consultation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Sword. Can we now move to the Director of Community, Mr Scott Williams?
Thank you, Chair. Firstly, I just wanted to touch on birth notifications. We've had a significant increase across the region, particularly in Cobram and Yarrawonga, almost 30 birth notifications just in those 2 towns alone. So I thank our maternal and child health teams for keeping up with that demand. I wanted to touch on a number of quick response grants that we've awarded recently. Right across the Shire, there's a centennial celebration at the Barmah Community Hall, mental health and wellbeing training at the Numurkah Football Club, an Under the Stars community reconnection event in Nathalia, and an art installation of a bike rack at the Tungamah Preschool. So some really good projects that we're proud to support right across the Shire. Just touching on arts quickly, there's been some great things happening in arts, particularly I want to touch on the Grain Store, their flood installation that has large-scale photography and stories from the 2020 floods. So I think that's definitely worth checking out. They're one of our arts hubs. And the other key one, another one of our arts hubs, is the Numurkah preschool mural unveiling. So we had about 100 attendees attend that, and a lot of families there. So that was another great project through our arts hubs. You mentioned the Youth Council. They've also been quite active as they prepare for Youth Fest. They've been a really great group, and we've done some tours and some engagement projects with the Youth Council. The Community Leadership Program is open again, so I encourage everyone to jump on the website and check that out. And just finishing, our winter tourism campaign is now in market, so that's a great collaboration with Berrigan and Federation to promote the region, especially over those non-peak periods. So we're excited to see the results from that one. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Can we now move to item 9 on tonight's agenda, and that is officer reports for determination. The first item is 9.1.1, the 2025-2026 Civic Risk Mutual Membership Renewal. Ms. Amanda Finn.
Thank you, Chair Administrator. The purpose of this report is for Council to consider the renewal of the membership with Civic Risk Mutual for the 2025-2026 financial year. Moira Shire Council has been a member of the Mutual since June 2022, which provides insurance products and protection services, and participation also provides a range of membership benefits, including risk management support. This report also recommends that Council authorise the CEO to execute any agreements to give effect to this membership renewal. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Finn. I'm happy to move that Council, number 1, authorise payment of the membership fee and contributions for the renewal of the membership with Civic Risk Mutual for the 2025-2026 financial year for a total of $1,267,510, excluding GST. And number 2, authorise the Chief Executive Officer to execute any agreements and other documents as necessary to give effect to Council's membership and insurance renewals. Is there a seconder for that motion?
Yes, I'll second that motion, Chair.
Thank you, Administrator. Just very quickly, maintaining insurance is obviously a critical governance responsibility of the Council, and this report to us in front of us here tonight essentially secures our insurance coverage for the 25-26 financial year. Do you wish to speak as seconder of that motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? The motion is carried. Item 9.1.2, Gifts, Benefits and Hospitality Policy. Again, Ms. Amanda Finn.
Thank you, Chair Administrator. The purpose of this report is for Council to consider the revised Gifts, Benefits and Hospitality Policy developed in accordance with Section 138 of the Local Government Act 2020 and reviewed in line with the policy review schedule. The Gifts, Benefits and Hospitality Policy provides clear guidance to councillors, employees and members of delegated committees on responding to the offer of gifts, benefits and hospitality from individuals or other entities external to Council, and supports a culture of declining offers even when they're allowed under the policy. A change in this policy includes a requirement to declare all hospitality and token gifts regardless of value and whether the offer was accepted or declined. Thank you, Chair Administrator.
Thank you, Ms. Finn. Is there a mover for this item?
Yes, I'd like to move that Council adopt the revised Gifts, Benefits and Hospitality Policy as presented in Attachment 1, developed in accordance with Section 138 of the Local Government Act 2020.
And I'm happy to second that motion. Do you wish to speak to the motion?
This is about strengthening our transparency, making sure that we're really clear about what gifts, benefits and hospitality is received or declined, as this policy now does. I think that you've pointed out through your presentation, Ms. Finn, that the material change is that it's now for all declarations and all hospitality that's offered regardless of the value or whether the offer was accepted or declined. So I would like to very much endorse the moving of this motion.
Thank you, Administrator. And just a seconder of the motion, I'm really pleased to see this policy before us here tonight. This is about embedding a culture of not accepting gifts and hospitality, and this really does take our level of maturity in this space up to a more contemporary and higher level. And thank you to the staff who have been involved with putting this policy together. I'll put the motion. Those in favour? The motion is carried. Item 9.1.3 on the agenda is the Numurkah Show Day public holiday request. Ms. Finn.
Thank you, Chair Administrator. The purpose of this report is for Council to consider the request from the Numurkah Agricultural Society to make a request to the Minister for Small Business for a substitute public holiday on Wednesday, the 22nd of October 2025, in lieu of the Melbourne Cup public holiday for the Numurkah District. This request is made in accordance with Section 8A of the Public Holidays Act 1993. Council recently sought feedback from the community in accordance with our community engagement policy, with Council's community engagement policy, to gauge the impact of this request on the community. The survey returned 68 responses, which showed that 80% of respondents used the public holiday to attend the annual Numurkah Agricultural Show and would like to retain the substitute public holiday. It is also recommended that Council authorise the CEO to administer requests from the Numurkah Agricultural Society in consultation with the Society for the next 3 years. Thank you, Chair Administrator Emerson.
Thank you, Ms. Finn. I'm happy to move that Council number 1 note the feedback received on the request to gazette a substitute public holiday on Wednesday, 22 October 2025 for the Numurkah Agricultural Show. And secondly, in accordance with Section 8A of the Public Holidays Act 1993, request the Minister for Small Business to declare a full-day public holiday within the Numurkah District as defined on the map presented in Attachment 1 for Wednesday, 22 October 2025 for the Numurkah Show, and as a substitute public holiday for the appointed Melbourne Cup public holiday in 2025. And thirdly, authorise the Chief Executive Officer to make future requests to the Minister for Small Business under Section 8A of the Public Holidays Act 1993 for the period of the next 3 calendar years, including 2028, in consultation with the Numurkah Agricultural Society. Is there a seconder for that motion?
Yes, Chair Administrator, I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Administrator. It was important from a governance perspective that we test the community on the ongoing, because it has been a standing arrangement to declare a substitute public holiday for the Numurkah Show in past years. And the fact that we had some 68 responses to me demonstrates that the opportunity to consult, engage the community on this proposition was a very worthwhile exercise. And I want to thank those people who took the opportunity to provide their feedback on the proposal. Having received the proposals, however, it is clear to me that there is a strong level of demonstrated support for the declaration of the public holiday for the Numurkah Show. And on balance, I'm very happy to be supporting this request from the Numurkah Agricultural Society again for this year, and happy to authorise the CEO to administer subsequent requests for the next 3 calendar years as well. Do you wish to speak as seconder of the motion?
Again, Chair Administrator, I'm very pleased that people took the time to give us their responses. It really does stand us in good stead when community members look at these things, give us some information on which we can then make guided decisions. So thank you to everyone who participated.
With that, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? The motion is carried. Can we move to item 9.2.1, which is the Moira Shire Small Town Sports Sustainability Strategy, and Mr. Scott Williams.
Thank you, Chair. Today's report seeks Council's endorsement of the Moira Shire Small Town Sports Sustainability Strategy. I think there's no doubting that sport is synonymous with the towns of Moira Shire. For decades, residents have connected socially through participation in club sport, and to this day, while times are certainly changing, it remains a crucial part of the social fabric of our communities. So this strategy aims to respond to the challenges faced by small towns, particularly in maintaining facilities and growing participation compared to the larger towns. So it's developed through community consultation, including engagement with the many fantastic and engaged user groups, and acknowledging that they are the champions of sport in these small towns and the real drivers. This strategy sets a clear direction for future investment, master planning, partnership opportunities in these smaller towns so we can work towards improving facility equity and sports participation across the Shire. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Is there a mover for this item?
Yes, Chair, I'd like to move that Council 1 note the feedback received on the draft Moira Shire Small Town Sports Sustainability Strategy following community engagement conducted in accordance with Council's community engagement policy. And 2, adopt the Moira Shire Small Town Sports Sustainability Strategy as included in Attachment 1.
And I'm happy to second that motion. Do you wish to speak as the mover of the motion?
Thank you. I think this strategy actually recognises that larger towns have access to more funding, to more people, to the ability to be able to grow. And these are opportunities that smaller towns simply don't have. The towns included in this strategy were populations between 500 people and 1,000 people, and those with active sporting clubs. So the way in which the small town sports sustainability strategy was developed was to actually go back to each of those small towns, to each of those clubs, to see what was needed for the future, to be able to prioritise it, and then put it back into an order that both helps them and us work out how to leverage external assistance so that these towns can continue with this sports provision. So I highly commend the motion.
Thank you, Administrator Benedica. I concur entirely that sports and the sustainability of sports in some of our smaller towns is absolutely the glue and the lifeblood of these communities, and it is important that we have a strategy to see where and how we can sustain those environments. I'll put the motion. Those in favour? The motion is carried. Can we move to item 9.2.2, Moira Shire Recognition of Accomplishment Program? Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Chair. The Moira Shire Recognition of Accomplishment Program plays an important role in recognising and supporting local individuals and teams who achieve excellence in sports, culture, leadership, representing Moira Shire at state, national, international levels. It reflects Council's commitment to celebrating achievement, encouraging participation and fostering pride across our communities. This report recommends minor changes to improve the program for the greater benefit of the community. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. I'm happy to move that Council number 1 endorse the change in name from Achievers Award Assistance Program to Moira Shire Recognition of Accomplishment Program, as included in attachments 1 and 2. And secondly, note the program which will be administered through the Council's online grant program, Smarty Grants. Is there a seconder for that motion?
Yes, I'd like to second that motion.
Thank you, Administrator. Very quickly, this has been an important program, been maintained for some years, and it is important, I think, to continue to make sure these funding programs remain contemporary. And again, thank you to the staff for undertaking the review and providing a small amount of updates. This funding program is a really important level of assistance to enable some of our residents to compete at broader levels beyond the local level. And I think it's really important that we have this sort of support available to enable our residents to be able to pursue those pursuits. Do you wish to speak as seconder of the motion?
Yes, in speaking to second the motion, it is absolutely about accomplishment. It's about people in our Shire being able to be showcased on a broader stage. I'm quite looking forward to receiving more applications through this program.
Thank you, Administrator. I'll put the motion. Those in favour of the motion is carried. Can we now move to item 9.3.1, Draft Public Tree Management Policy? Ms. Gadd.
Thank you, Chair Administrator. This report presents the draft urban tree canopy policy for endorsement to proceed to community engagement. The policy outlines the strategic framework and the principles for the management of trees on council managed land. It recognises the importance of protecting and expanding the Shire's urban tree canopies over time to improve amenity and mitigate climate change impacts. And it also supports a planned expansion of the urban tree canopy that enhances the land characteristics of Shire's landscape characteristics. And it prioritises a risk-based decision-making framework for the removal of trees with a 2-for-1 replacement ratio where removal is unavoidable.
Thank you, Ms Gadd. Is there a mover for this item?
Yes, I'd like to move this item. I'd like to move that council endorse the draft public tree management policy as included in attachment 1 for the purposes of community engagement for a minimum period of 21 days in accordance with council's community engagement policy.
And I'm happy to second that motion. Do you wish to speak as the mover of the motion?
I think it's important to note that in both the Moira 2045 community vision and the council plan, that enhanced natural environments were very much part of the focus. This tree policy in draft at the moment, but public tree management policy enables us to enact that. I really like the in the council plan that we have indicators of the number of new trees planted by council, the area of urban tree canopy cover, and also that this plan has a major initiative, which is about developing and implementing an urban canopy strategy. So it is a draft. We certainly want community feedback on that draft, and I'm happy to have that moved.
Thank you, Administrator. I'm happy to put the motion. Those in favour, the motion is carried. Can we move to item 9.4.1, Goulburn Murray Climate Alliance Memorandum of Understanding? Mr. Sword.
Thank you, Chair Administrator Emerson. The report before Council is to consider the renewal of Council's membership in the Goulburn Murray Climate Alliance for a further 4 years. The Alliance is a collaboration which was founded in 2007 and consists of 13 councils, Alpine Resorts Victoria, and 2 catchment management authorities in Victoria's northeast. The Alliance works together on regional programs that reduce greenhouse gas emissions and facilitate climate change adaptation. The Alliance implements joint initiatives that provide economies of scale and enables participation in projects typically beyond the reach of individual councils. The report before Council sets out several achievements and savings that have directly benefited Moira through its membership, the largest being the Victorian Energy Collaboration, where 51 Victorian councils pooled their electricity needs into one long-term contract. This is anticipated to save Moira $110,000 over the next 4 years. The Alliance is guided by a Memorandum of Understanding and is governed by a board with representation from councillors and senior staff from all Alliance members. There is an opportunity to appoint an administrator to the Alliance Board and as its councillor representative. The report recommends that Moira Shire Council continues its membership with the Goulburn Murray Climate Alliance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sword. I'm happy to move that Council, number 1, authorise the Chief Executive Officer to sign the 2025 to 2029 Memorandum of Understanding with the Goulburn Murray Climate Alliance. Secondly, appoint Administrator Susan Benediker to the Goulburn Murray Climate Alliance Board as its council law representative. Is there a seconder for that motion?
Yes, Chair Administrator, I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Administrator. This report does demonstrate the benefits of regional collaboration, and the Climate Alliance for the Goulburn Murray region was established back in 2007, as Mr. Sword has indicated, and the report does set out the substantial return on investment and the benefits that have been achieved through this regional collaboration in the space of managing climate. I think the report speaks for itself in terms of the benefits that we expect as Moira Shire will continue to flow if history is any judge. So I'm very happy to be moving the motion to continue our involvement with the Goulburn Murray Climate Alliance. Do you wish to speak as the seconder of the motion?
I'd also like to acknowledge that I'm very happy to be appointed to the Climate Alliance Board as the councillor's representative, but also to point out the right range of topics that is covered and considered, from sustainability accords, climate change adaptation, grants, being able to look at things like charging the regions, our EV charging policies, cooler towns, climate resilience, and a whole range of factors, including solar saving. So it really is quite broad ranging, and I'm looking forward to being a representative for Moira Shire.
Thank you. I'll put the motion. Those in favour? The motion is carried. Item 9.4.2 is revocation of waiver or rebate of building permit fees policy. Mr Sword.
Thank you, Chair Administrator. The purpose of this report is for Council to revoke the waiver or refund of building permit fees policy. The report is administrative in its nature. The Building Act provides for the reduction, waiver or refund of fees based on specified circumstances. It allows for these waivers to be applied at the discretion of specified persons who are authorised or delegated to administer the Act. Therefore, this policy is no longer required. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Sword. I'm happy to move that Council revoke the waiver or refund of building permits fees policy shown in attachment 1. Is there a seconder for that?
I'd like to second that motion.
Thank you, Administrator. As Mr Sword has indicated, this is largely an administrative matter. Essentially, the current policy we have is now redundant, and it is good practice for us to more formally revoke that policy. Do you wish to speak as seconder of the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? The motion is carried. Item 10.1.1 on tonight's agenda is contracts awarded under CEO delegation. Can I invite Mr Mittner to introduce this item?
Thank you, Chair Administrator Emerson. The purpose of this report is to enhance transparency for contracts awarded under the financial delegation of the Chief Executive Officer, which ranges from $150,001 to $500,000 excluding GST. The report highlights 4 contracts awarded under the CEO's delegation during the period from 1 April 2025 to 30 June 2025. Each contract was procured through a publicly advertised request for tender process, which is consistent with Council's procurement policy. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr Mittner. Is there a mover for this item?
Yes, I'd like to move that Council note the quarterly reports for contracts awarded under CEO delegation for the period 1st of April 2025 to 30th of June 2025.
And I'm happy to second that motion. Do you wish to speak to the motion?
Only to endorse Mr Mittner's comments that this is about transparency, making sure people can clearly see what those delegated authorities were and what's been awarded.
Okay, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? The motion is carried. Can we now move to item 11, notices of motion? Mr CEO, are there any notices of motion?
No, Chair, and there's no items for, there's no matters for items 12, 13 or 14 on the agenda either.
Thank you, Mr CEO. Can we then move to, did you say 14 as well? Are there matters of urgent business?
No, so we can move through to item 15, which is public question time.
Thank you, Mr CEO. So we'll now move to item 15, which is public question time. We do have 3 submitters of questions tonight. The first of those is Jan Margette. Mr CEO, sorry, Jan's not with us, I don't think. Mr CEO, can I get you to read Jan's question and then provide the response?
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Jan, for the question. The question is, the Australian Government Department of Health and Aged Care in the Australian Immunisation Handbook on June 3, 2025 says healthy infants, children and adolescents aged under 18 years are not recommended to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. My question is, why is this not on the Moira Shire website? Chair, the response from Council's perspective is the responsibility of COVID-19 vaccine information rests with the Department of Health and therefore is not published on the Moira Shire website. Our website advises people seeking COVID vaccinations to speak with their GP or pharmacist.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. CEO, and thank you, Jan, for that question. The second submitter of questions tonight is Paul Flavel, and I don't think we have Paul with us tonight. Mr. CEO, can you please read Paul's question and follow that with a response?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Paul, for the question. The question from Paul is, a recent article in the Yarrawonga Chronicle described buildings at the former Yarrawonga Primary School site as being riddled with asbestos and white ants. Can we, the public, receive a copy of Council's condition report concerning this matter in order to contrast and compare with the contents of the Coffee Engineering report about the same subject? Thank you, Paul. through the chair, just to note that we are currently in the middle of a two-stage expression of interest process. The first stage is registrations from those who may be interested in occupying the site. The second stage is the release of an expression of interest. As part of that expression of interest, all documentation, including all condition assessments that council has available, will be provided as part of that information pack. So that will be made available to the community to see all information that council has available on that site. We anticipate that will occur in about 6 weeks' time.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. The third question tonight is from Carol Henderson, and this question is carried over from the last meeting. Again, Carol's not with us tonight. Mr. CEO, can you read Carol's question and provide the response?
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Carol, for the question. The question is, in 2011, gazetted in 2015, Moira Shire Council gave 11 hectares of Crown land designated for parks and recreation to the Department of Education in exchange for 2.5 hectares comprising the oval and triangle of the years 9 to 12 site of the Yarrawonga P12 College. Regrettably, VSBA, Victorian School Building Authority, since it took over the site administration of the former Yarrawonga Primary School site, has not allowed the local community to maintain the gardens on the site, nor clean out the gutters to prevent water damage and deter vandals. Thus, the buildings are now badly damaged due to vandalism and no maintenance. How can the value of the dilapidated buildings and the small area of land, 3.55 hectares, still be assessed as requiring payment to the Department of Treasury and Finance of, when it will be the community who has to pay $823,000 for the neglect? Chair, and thank you, Carol, for the question. The response is, we note the question and advise that council will be advocating for the best deal for council and the community in the transfer of the land, and has already made the case for considerations such as the current condition of the site and the land swap that was previously undertaken to facilitate the move of the primary school to its current site. We will continue to work for the best outcome in the negotiations with the Victorian Government over the next 6 to 12 months.
Thank you, Mr. CEO, and I understand that's the extent of questions from the public tonight. If there are no more public questions, that takes us to the close of tonight's meeting. Can I again thank the members of the public who have joined us tonight, and to those who have joined us online, we express our appreciation to you as well. If there's no further business, we will declare tonight's meeting closed, and thank you.